In this tutorial, you'll learn how to import images you found online and modify them to achieve your desired product. Before we begin, it's important to understand what 3 colors we use in our laser cut designs and what they do. For our laser cutter, a universal VLS 2.3, we primarily use red, blue, and black. Red indicates a cut, blue indicates a score, and black indicates an engraving. Both red and blue must be 1-point borders and not fills. Black can either be a fill or a border. So let's go ahead and import our 4 images. So you go to File, Import, Place Image. And I have them all here. And unfortunately, you can't select multiple ones at a time. So let's bring in our car, the colored car, and let's see if this works. So the car image is here. You can see that the icon over here is an image. What we want to do is modify this path and vectorize the image. So right now it's just an image, but we need to vectorize it to turn it into lines that we can manipulate. So there's an algorithm that will run when you click this, and your image looks very different from how it was. Sometimes images don't, and the reason why we were very picky about which ones we were choosing is because when you bring an image in, if it doesn't look like as close to what you brought in as possible, then it probably won't laser cut well. This one actually doesn't look that bad. So you see it's a group, and there are obviously aspects of it that wouldn't be laser cuttable, like this background and the bottom here. So you can ungroup the object. Ungroup the object. You have all of these different layers, and you can come in and start deleting them. I want this whole bottom gone. I need multiple selections. Okay, let's see. I give this the maroon. So you see there's little silver bits up here. So this is the part where once you've brought in an image, you have to really start. Oh, that took away a lot. Let's keep that silver just in case we need it. Dark slate gray. No. Oh, we want those windows. So as you start, you're playing with this and you're manipulating the image and you're looking at the layers and you're slowly editing away pieces that you want or don't want. And I'm just taking away anything. When I click on it, I can see the box around it here. And if I delete it and it doesn't change the image, then I'm okay leaving it gone. But if I delete something and it takes away a big part of the image, like let's say this, took away my door handle, well, no, I want that back. So I don't delete it and I bring it back by hitting Command Z or undo. So now the rest of this, if I select it all, that is my entire car. So I'm going to group them back together. This is not yet ready to be laser cut. We would still need a lot of work to do. But I'm going to leave this over here and shrink the size down and move it up here because it's possible that we'll come back to it. It's also possible we decide it's too much work or that we don't have the time, or it's really not an image that we want. We'll come back to it. Let's go ahead and bring in another image. We're going to import our, our second car. Now the first one was in color. This one is not. It's black and white and has a white background. So we're going to do the same thing. Modify, path, vectorize the image. And that looks almost identical. So we're going to come over here to this group. We're going to ungroup the selection. I'm just going to lock the other car down here so I don't want to accidentally delete it. And usually the very bottom layer is the background. This happens to say transparent, and that was the background. Now all these other gray, transparent stuff, I'm not really sure what they are. So I'm just going to select them all and delete. Oh, and there were some transparent stuff in here that we do need. So I think I'm going to get rid of all the gray. I don't think we need any of this gray. So I have the black, and that is the base of the car. The transparent's that inside part of the car, and then each window is black, and then the inside of the windows is transparent, and those are my wheels that are transparent. So all of these, again, it's not ready to be laser cut yet, but it's very close. I'm just going to group it, call it car 2, and we'll lock that and move it or leave it. Then we're going to go and import another of our designs. Let's look at the cat. So this was our silhouette, and it happened to have a background and inside a white, which may cause problems, but let's see. Modify, path, vectorize image. It looks pretty much the same. We did lose some of the whiskers. We might have to work on those, or maybe we just delete them. They were very thin. So, oops. So when thinking about your images, when you select them, you really do want to keep in mind what, let's move the cat out of the way of the car. There we go. Okay. You really do want to think about what, if they're really thin lines, when you vectorize it, it might not come out so well. So this dark slate gray, that's the cat. I'm going to leave it. And then all of these Gainsborough and dim gray, I think I'm going to delete everything else. And really, look, all we needed was that dark slate gray. Now those cat whiskers, we lost some. We can go back and edit them, but we'll do that after. So let's change this one to cat. Unlock it. And the last image that we downloaded, file import, was the teddy bear. Okay, now it has a background, it has some text at the bottom. Let's go ahead and modify it and see what happens. Oh, not that bad. It didn't change much from the original, which is great. Again, ungroup them. We're going to go to the very bottom one, that white smoke, that's our background, and delete it. And then we have black and white smoke. Okay, so these white smoke pieces, if I delete, that's the whole inside of the bear. So the rest of this bear, the rest of the images here are complete, I believe, are what we need. So this black one, while it contains the stitching on the bottom, also has some of the text inside here. Okay. Assuming there's some little bits of the text that are still here. To edit a specific path, instead of the pointer tool, we go to the sub-select tool, and then we can come in, we can select, click on that, there we go. We can select these points just by itself, delete them. And if we go back to the pointer tool and we zoom out, now it is just, well, it even includes these black lines too, but we got rid of those. So I'm going to go back up, select these as the bear, group them, Command G or Control G. There. Again, none of these are ready to be laser cut, but we can work on that. Let's go ahead and import those flowers. There they were. They were the line art. So this is where these flowers, they are pretty thin. We may lose a lot of this definition, but let's go ahead and modify and see what happens. We're going to vectorize it, and it doesn't actually look that bad. If they were thinner lines, it could have lost, like the cat whiskers. And so if that happens, when you bring an image in to vectorize it, if it doesn't look right and you feel like you've lost too much, then that's really where you've got to decide, do you go back and find a new image? In most cases, yes. I'd suggest that if it doesn't look like what it was when you brought it in, that you go back and get a new image altogether.